Hello friends, welcome back to a new and very interesting video. Today we are going to learn about Jerome Bruner's theory of language development. In this video we will explore the language acquisition support system, that is commonly known as LASS, scaffolding and modes of representation. Let's dive into the theoretical foundation of Jerome Bruner theory of language development. Jerome Bruner, whose time period was basically from 1915 to 2016, he was popularly known for his theory that is known as the social constructivist theory of language development. In this theory, Jerome Bruner proposed that language acquisition is an active, socially guided process rather than purely innate or purely conditioned. Friends, the thing is, the before the Jerome Bruner, whoever proposed the language development theory, they said two things only, that is language is purely innate or purely conditioned. We will learn more about that afterwards later, but let's focus on the social constructivist view. While acknowledging biological readiness, Bruner emphasized that children require a structured social interaction with adult caregivers to turn linguistic potential into communication mastery. What does Jerome Bruner said? That he acknowledged the biological readiness, that we possessed biological readiness to learn the language, and he also emphasized on the requirement of structural social interaction, which is popularly known as scaffolding. And social interaction is very important component of Jerome Bruner's theory of language development and linguistic potential and communication mastery. Let's dive into the three pillars of Bruner's theory. That is, first one is LASS framework, that is full form known as language acquisition support system, and second pillar is scaffolding process, and third pillar is modes of representation. The last framework, we will learn about LASS framework, that what it is. What is LASS framework? The language acquisition support system represents the environmental structure provided by caregivers to help children decode syntax and social pragmatic rules. Basically, the LASS framework works as a environmental structure that is given by the children's parents and environment, society, where children develop through their age. And now let's move forward to scaffolding process. Scaffolding process is temporary instructional support provided by a more knowledgeable other. The scaffolding literally means the more knowledgeable others. When we interact with person who knows more than us, then we will learn something from him, and when we will learn that concept, then we can gradually remove the support system that was earlier taken by us. Scaffolding process, basically known as more knowledgeable others, that is gradually removed as the child develops independent linguistic capability. When the child develops the independent language capacity, when there is the time when scaffolding is gradually removed. And last and third pillar is modes of representation. Modes of representation is cognitive growth transition through inactive, that is action, iconic, that is image, and symbolic, that is language modes, with language acting as the supreme symbol system. Now let's move forward and learn about LAD versus LASS, the interactive formula. We will learn now mainly about the difference between LAD and LASS. LAD which is known as language acquisition device, which was given by Chomsky, Noam Chomsky. He defined LAD as innate biological mechanism and hardwired in human brain and provides universal grammar rules and linguistic capability. And the limitation of LAD given by Chomsky is that he ignores social context and communicative purpose. He completely ignores social context and communicative purpose, friend. And now let's learn about LASS, which we have learned something about it earlier. And now let's quickly revision about LASS given by Bruner. Here you will be able to difference between LASS and LAD. Then language acquisition support system, popularly known as LASS, it is an external social scaffolding provided by caregivers and culture. When children interact with more knowledgeable others, then it is easy to develop the linguistic capability with respect to the children who do not have scaffolding or more knowledgeable others, the children who do not interact with more knowledgeable others. It discuss about formats, routines, and child-directed speech, that is mother is. And function of LASS is activates and guides the innate LAD system. It also contribute the LASS is also contribute to LAD language acquisition device. It by activating the LAD language acquisition device, the LASS works. Here a formula comes, that is linguistic competence is equals to LAD plus LASS, that is biological capacity plus social scaffolding is equal to language mastery. Now let's dive into caregiver scaffolding in action. Now learn about what is joint attention. Joint attention is that when caregivers guides the children's focus to shared object or events, pairing gestures with vocal naming. And next concept is child-directed speech. It defines as slower tempo, higher pitch, simplified grammar, and exaggerated intonation foster comprehension. Next thing is recasting and expansion. Adult takes child's incomplete utterances, example doggy run, and complete them, yes, the doggy is running. For example, a children named X sees a doggy is running on the road. So he or she is not able to comprehend or total action that was doing by a dog. Instead, rather he said in short form that doggy run. That is two-word stage. It means children is at two-word stage, and the adult with him completely understand that what their children is saying. And last thing and last concept is turn taking, which is defined as non-verbal signals during infant play lay the foundation for conversational grammar rules. 5 mechanisms of scaffolding are which is very important from point of view of exam like UGC NET or NIMHANS or any clinical psychology exam. It will be asked that what will be the 5 mechanisms of scaffolding, arrange them in order. Then your answer should be, first scaffolding mechanism is recruitment, in which enlisting childs interact in communicative interaction. Second mechanism is reduction. Third one is maintenance. Fourth one is marking features, and fifth one is fading. What is reduction? Reduction is simplifying task by reducing degrees of freedom. And what is maintenance? Keeping child focused on goal and direction. And what is marking features? Highlighting critical errors or word choices. And what is fading? Gradually withdrawing support as independence grows, which is also known as scaffolding. Cognitive modes of representation, which is also important for UGC NET examination. It has been asked various times in UGC NET examination. You can see them in previous year questions of UGC NET examination in psychology. inactive. The first mode of representation is inactive, in which children do physical action and repeat that. And then second modes of representation is iconic, in which children see something and represent that I have seen a dog, a cat, or anything, any object, any stimulus in environment. And the third one is symbolic, when in this stage children has developed the independent linguistic capability, in which children is able to comprehend the symbol by seeing, by observing a symbol only. The children is able to recall or able to understand that what does this symbol means. And lastly, comparative analysis of theories, we can see that what behaviorism says, what nativism says about language theory, what social constructivism says, and what cognitive theory says. The behaviorism theory of language development was given by B.F.S. Skinner, which says that operant conditioning and reinforcement is a primary driver, and here caregiver role is that provides rewards and correction. By providing rewards and correction, the children learns the language development capacity. And nativism by Noam Chomsky, which all gave the LAD mechanism, and he says that the role of caregiver in order to development of language in child is very minimal, that is almost negligible, and acts as basic trigger. And social constructivism, which we are studying right now, given by Jerome Bruner, he combined his own concept and concept given by nativism, that is Noam Chomsky, LAD, and named it as social interaction. And here the role of caregiver, here the role of adult is very important in order to develop the linguistic capacity. And last one is cognitive theory, which was given by Jean Piaget. He called general cognitive stage readiness. He gave the stages of language development. And here in the theory of Jean Piaget, the role of caregiver is facilitates environment exploration. And the role of formats and routines, 100 as daily micro routines, that is shared social formats. Bruner highlighted that structured social games like pick a boo, bedtime reading, and mealtime exchange provides a predictable scenario where children learn linguistic rules. Because the routine context is familiar, the child can focus mental effort entirely on understanding and generating new vocabulary and syntax. And last, you can go through with educational and practical impact, that is spiral curriculum, guided discovery, and interactive classroom. You can read them by pausing the video. And last, you can discuss the questions and have discussion about this topic. And lastly, Jerome Bruner's statement. We will finish this video with the statement of Jerome Bruner, that is, language is an instrument for ordering experience upon the world. We transform concept into symbols to think the unthinkable. You can also ask like that in exam, that who gave the statement that concept, who gave the statement that language is an instrument for ordering experience upon the world. We transform concepts into symbols to think the unthinkable. Bye bye दोस्तों. Till then, take care of good health. Take care of your good health. Bye bye.